I'm Judea Murray, and here on a positive note, we highlight the most heartwarming stories from all around our tri-state that move and inspire us. With fall right around the corner, I wanted to end summer on a positive note by taking a look at some of the best feel-good stories we've covered right here on News 12. Do you remember the cicadas? Those little buggers reemerged in May, and by June, the whole tri-state sounded like a natural symphony. Well, that gave one musician from New Jersey an idea, making the best out of a creepy, crawly situation. Let's take a look.
There is music in nature. You just have to know where to look, or rather, where to listen.
When I'm playing with them, I'm trying to join into this swirl of sound.
David Rothenberg is talking about cicadas.
When you hear it, it just sounds like one sound.
The Cold Spring Man literally wrote the book on bug music and has made a habit of finding different species of cicadas, like this one in Ohio. Singing electronic and acoustic sounds in harmony with the critters.
The most famous sound is a sound only the males make, the pharaoh sound. They go, pharaoh, pharaoh.
A sound that Rothenberg, a music and philosophy professor at New Jersey Institute of Technology,
you might think this guy's just obsessed with cicadas,
is now chasing as Brood X is emerging after 17 years underground.
Unfortunately, we don't quite get Brood 10 or Brood X in Westchester, in the Hudson Valley.
But this cicada can be found in New Jersey.
Interested in what you can learn musically from nature. So literally billions are coming out. I think that's not an exaggeration.
This emergence getting special attention this year.
People are emerging from our life underground. We've been locked down for more than a year. And here we have these insects also emerging.
Brood X showing us humans how to be resilient, patient, and how to come together after emerging from a dark time.
Sources say we won't see the cicadas again until 2038. Good riddance. Now, June was also Pride Month. Thousands and thousands of people around the tri-state were finally able to reunite in celebration of identity in person once again. And because of that, News 12 was able to feature quite a few inspirational people, like Marlon Davila, a New Jersey artist who once struggled to express himself until he grabbed a brush and repainted his narrative. Let's take a look at his masterpiece.
She was just so bright, and she was gay.
Artist Marlon Davila is drawing inspiration from the early years of the modern gay rights movement.
This is Marsha P. Johnson, and I'll use this as a reference.
The gender non-conforming gay activist beginning in the late 1960s was from Elizabeth, New Jersey. Davila wants people to know Johnson's story, but the Edison resident has his own journey to reveal through his surrealist paintings, which he is able to create now after years of holding back. How did the struggle within yourself affect your creativity?
By suppressing my identity, I was also suppressing my creativity.
When he embraced being gay by his early 30s and shared more of his life, it opened his world artistically, he says. As you look back now on your younger self, if you could say something to that person, what would it be?
To not give up, that it gets better if you start appreciating and loving yourself and taking care of yourself.
You may have seen Davila's artwork and not known it. He is also a muralist. He painted this one in his native Princeton, a tree and butterflies, symbolizing growth and migration within the community. And he was commissioned to create another using a shipping container in Bordentown, among many others. His studio is lined with portraits, colorful, quirky. Some are rooted in his Guatemalan heritage, but all are connected to having a free and open spirit, he says, like the one he senses in Marsha P. Johnson.
Art is unlimited. There's no boundaries. So with art, you cannot be in a box. There's no limitations with art, and that's what I love the most, because I can be anything and everything that I want to create.
As June wrapped up, New Spell was invited to quite a few graduations. This high school ceremony in Hoboken, New Jersey was extra special because one of its graduates had been working on his diploma for 70 years. Take a look.
This arm will go right in here.
Okay.
It was all pomp and circumstance for the Rongo family this afternoon as their patriarch, also a veteran, Francis Anthony Rongo, suited up for graduation.
Make sure that this stays on the right because you're going to flip it to the left.
Frank Rongo should have graduated high school 70 years ago in 1951. However, when his father became ill and passed away, Frank decided to drop out of high school and start working to help make ends meet.
For my mom, I felt good about it for helping her the way I could.
This was kind of, if you want to call it a regret potentially. It wasn't my dad's that, he had to sacrifice graduating high school back 70 years ago to take care of his family and put food on the table.
Last February, Frank's grandson, Robert Bost, reached out to the Hoboken School District and simply shared his grandfather's story in hopes of getting a response and an opportunity to write a regret.
Every year for the last, 29 years, my grandpa here was telling me how much he regretted having to leave high school. He served his country, he worked hard his whole life, just never had the opportunity to go back and actually finish it.
Mr. Rongo was a proud product of the Hoboken Public School District.
Dr. Christine Johnson, the superintendent of schools for the Hoboken Public School District, obliged and agreed to award Frank an honorary high school diploma.
We wanted to do this last year for him, but with COVID, we just weren't able to.
I did it!
In a lot of ways, the resilience that Mr. Rongo had for all these years, back then and now, is kind of very similar to what the kids went through this year. And so what a great year to give an honorary high school diploma. It's fitting to do it.
And on Father's Day, Frank got the big news that at 86 years old, he'd finally be a high school graduate.
The commencement ceremony is this Friday. No one deserves this more than you do it. Oh my God. Wow.
Frank, who also battled COVID this year, had the honor of graduating with Hoboken High School's class of 2021, a class that faced its own challenges because of the pandemic. In the end, the class of 2021 and a graduate from the class of 1951 shared a story of resilience.
And that brings us into today's Did You Know? Did you know the official first day of fall is September 22nd? It's also known as the autumnal equinox. On the 22nd, daytime and nighttime will be equally split. Soon it'll be time for extra layers, boots, scarves, and pumpkin spice summer. I'll miss you, but hot apple cider is calling my name right now. Congratulations are in order once again to every Olympic and Paralympic athlete who competed in Tokyo between July, August, and September. Out of the 217 medals that Team USA took home in both games, a great number of them came from athletes who were born in or currently live in our tri-state region. Like Anastasia Pagonis, a standout swimmer from Long Island. At just 17 years old, she wowed the world with her skills in the pool, which felt extra special to her thanks to all of those who doubted her. Check it out.
Anastasia Pagonis calls a swimming pool her happy place.
It's the place that I feel free. It's just me in the pool and I feel so independent.
And at the Paralympic trials in May, Tass, as her friends call her, was so dominant she set 3 U.S. records and 2 world records and earned her first spot on Team USA.
I get to swim for my country. I get to swim with a cap that says Team USA. That's insane to me.
Tass's story to get to this point is also wild. When she was 11, a genetic disorder caused her immune system to attack her retinas, and she started losing her vision. 3 years later, she was blind.
I don't think that people can comprehend what that's like unless they actually go through it.
Therapy helped, and eventually Tass wanted to swim again. The problem was finding a coach who, as she said, wanted to take on the blind girl.
My mom had contacted a lot of teams and nobody had faith in me and nobody really wanted to train me.
No one except Mark Dannon from Islanders Aquatics, who gave Tass the shove she needed to swim and smile again.
When I first got her, I did see some talent there. 3, 2, 1.
Obviously I knew how to swim before, but losing my sense took away like everything I had known.
A 50 now on 40. I need your heart rate higher.
So it was a lot to learn again.
Plus, there were new things to learn, like how to use tappers to know when to turn, how to swim with blackout goggles that block the light she can see.
And to stay straight, you'll notice Toss swings her arms wide and actually hits the plastic lane line, using them as her guide.
She came in there below average to high average, now to elite. So, you know, work works.
And now with Mark pushing her,
100 and then a 50.
Daily practices, and her guide dog Radar watching every stroke,
I'm showing other teenage girls, other teenagers, other people who are visually impaired that have a disability that you can do it. You can do anything you want to put your mind to.
And this blind swimmer is also making sure that all of those coaches and teams who did not take a chance on her can now see what they missed out on.
Normally at firehouses, you'll see a mascot like a little Dalmatian. Well, that's not the way they stop, drop, and roll over at Engine 239 in Park Slope, Brooklyn. This is Penny the Fire Pig. She's only 3 months old, and yet she already has the most important job ever. She gives these guys emotional support while they keep the citizens in Park Slope safe. If you're ever in town, you're free to come visit her. She loves snacks and making new friends.